Greetings everyone, a warm welcome, happy new year to you, and welcome to this January reading for Pisces, the first one of the year for 2019. So I hope you have all had a great beginning and start to 2019. If you watched my December videos, I talked a lot about it was time back then to set the intentions for what you wish to activate or carry through, or head in a certain direction for 2019. So the intention setting period is really over, and now it's about creating those intentions and manifesting them into this reality. So this is the activation time. It's a really great time to jump on that train that's moving so quickly with that change over number patterning sequence vibration energy from the 2018, which was an 11, into the 2019, which is a 12. So while these vibrational essences are moving through, this is when the activation can take place, and it's more likely, or it's easier sort of with that flow, to get your intentions activated and up and running. So Pisces, we are going to be using this deck here, and we are using one card only from there as a major, or like an overall year's trend or energy that you can ponder upon, you can think about, you can decide to uplift it, or if it's something that you're not particularly attracted to, you can decide to change it. But once we have awareness of situations or energies that are, flowing through the year, then we can work with them as appropriate. I also will be using 4 tarot cards from the Morgan Greer deck, and then an angel card at the end. I did some intuitive work for you, and this was the mantra I came up with, and again this mantra can be used as much as you like, either through the month of January or throughout the whole year. Yours was, I attract new friends or business associates, so either friends and or business associates who are exciting, loving, caring, accepting, funny and generous. And you received the kind of colour vibration blue and the number 5. Your key word seemed to be relationships. So something for you in this year coming in 2019 might revolve around the relationships in your life. As I said, either the personal ones or even more the business ones as well, and career opportunities. So you're starting off that whole year with this frequency of relationships in the background, and where you want to take them and how you want to activate them. Let's start the shuffling process for you guys to get some energy in for Pisces. I am going to take from the 5th one down, since the number you received was a 5. Now a 5 is the middle of the numbering sequence, from the sort of 1 through to 9 if you like. It can often mean we are halfway through an idea or a project, or halfway through a course of our belief systems, or halfway through changing. It can also be an exciting year of much activation, energy and changes when that number 5 comes into your life. So this is for Pisces. One more. And this is from the 5th card down. The Truth. This is number 20 in the major arcanas. So you have pulled quite a strong energy card when the major arcanas are around. It talks to us about, the cycle of life, or the changes that are coming, are derived more from the cosmos and the universe than our own specific timeline, if you like, our own desires of when change. So the Truth card in the traditional tarot deck is of course the Judgment card. A lot of people don't like the Judgment card. I'm not sure why, because I find it a card of awareness and awakening and truth. I think John Holland's particular depiction of it is a little easier to look at, perhaps. A man standing there looking out into the cosmos, kind of pondering something greater than himself, into the future and more encompassing than perhaps where he currently stands. So I'm going to read to you the words from the John Holland book, because often the major arcana messages are so powerful that the people who design these cards, their messages are really appropriate to hear. So here we are. The qualities of this card illustrate spiritual awakening, clarity, the revelation of truth, and cosmic consciousness. At times it takes a wake-up call to get your attention and show how far you need to go. This card comes forth to do just that. Evaluation of the past, along with the lessons that you've learned or still need to understand, must now be a top priority. Doing so will enable you to forgive, accept, and heal so that you can move forward in a balanced spiritual mindset. The Truth card reminds you that a significant change must be made in a certain area of your life. But don't make any hasty decisions. Take your time. For any choices or alterations must be weighed and evaluated with the most careful and wisest of judgments. Whatever steps you take now will have far-reaching consequences, more than you'll ever know. Using the powers of the universe and blending them with a little help from the physical world will assist you in bringing about clarity and a shift of awareness. What was once not obvious will now be realized and understood. Be honest with yourself and trust what you know to be true. And that's the Truth card. So as I say, I think it's a really powerful way to start your new year, full of opportunity, insight, clarity, awareness, understanding, shifting energies, seeing the light or seeing the vision. But know that you don't have to rush any big decisions or big changes that are coming your way. And given that we talked about relationships as being involved for the year, there's this feeling that, you know, something along those lines or that thread will be implicated one way or another, or that you are perhaps engaging in allowing change or growth within these areas. So yeah, the Judgment card is a far prettier one from his drawings and perspectives. I love the colour palette there, the beautiful soft intuitive purple colour, asking you to connect with your intuitive sense, which of course Pisces, we know that you are so good at doing. So you may receive messages that come to you from a different place, you know, from a higher celestial realm like the cosmos, or from your higher self or your spiritual insight or awareness. So listen when those messages or cosmic coincidences happen, and understand that they're part of the messaging sequence for you, either alerting you to a potential change in direction, you know, do I take this road or that road, or alerting you to higher possibilities or awareness with the Truth card. So with that, we'll move that one aside and we will bring in the Morgan Greer 4 cards for the tarot. So this is for Pisces. Your first card is the Moon, another major arcana. Oh wow. The second is the Emperor, another major arcana. The third is the Queen of Rods, which has come in reversed. And the fourth is the Fool. Gosh, you know, Pisces, you had that first big one, the Judgment card, which is, you know, a relatively big one in terms of the whole deck. And you now have 3 more major arcanas and the reversed Queen of Rods. So it's starting off with this kind of like passion of life, this fire of the belly, this boom. It's like it hits you for some reason. Perhaps just the way the planets are aligned for 2019 are creating an energy that's like a desire and a passion is the words I'm getting. So the 4 cards don't necessarily have to represent each week in the month, although they may for some of you. My timing guidelines are actually very fluid. I tend to find that things can traverse through the month and sort of wind themselves back around each other, so I don't set specifics with the timing. Although if you want to and it feels right, then go ahead and do it. That Moon card could be representative of the full moons either in December or January, or even new moon energy, because they're very powerful as well. It can also represent to us our emotions and our ability to connect with the intuitive world, the psychic world, collective consciousness, which is kind of what that Judgment card talked about. So this could be a time frame where you guys are really feeling that spiritual groove or that intuitive groove. Some of you may become more profoundly clairvoyant or psychic. You may hear messages from the other side. You may receive unbelievably synchronistic events taking place, which is exciting when it does, and it's kind of like, wow, what just happened? You might find that you receive answers through this way. So if any of you are thinking of these new friendships or new relationships or new careers or starting a business, it could come to you through the strangest of mechanisms, and you might go, whoa, what's this all about? Or do I trust it? Or is it what's meant to be? So go with that flow a little bit more, dig into it and really feel with it, because you guys you are very intuitive and you are very connected to the psychic presence, or the psychic realm of life. The moon also talks about emotional perspectives. It means sometimes we can be overtly emotional about situations or circumstances or relationships, or even global ideas or stuff that's going on the globe. So some of you might be really profoundly affected by things that are happening at this time. You might even feel like you really have to jump on a bandwagon and join a whole bunch of rebels, if you like, who are wanting to make changes and to be seen and to be heard. The other thing is this can represent other water signs, such as the Pisceans and the Cancerians, and the Scorpions, all being involved in a situation here that you might be dealing with. It might be something that you're wanting to keep quiet or not let everybody know about at this point. So it could be a business dealing you're trying to keep below board, or it might be some relationships that you're forming that you don't want everyone to know about. So there's a whole bunch of different perspectives that the moon can be referring to, but it usually talks to us about our feminine side, feminine cycles as well. For some of you, could be coming into things like menopause or having problems with female cycles. Some of you might be wanting to balance that out. You might be looking to find a hormone therapy, or even to try like a pregnancy cycle for some of you. Or the moon can relate to so many different factors. It can also, as I said, relate to things happening or occurring at night, in the dark of night, or in the dark time hours. Yeah, so heaps to think about there and ponder upon. Sometimes the moon does tell us to be a little bit cautious and circumspect about new people coming into our life. Double check them and double check what their meaning really is all about. Do due diligence. The Emperor right next to the moon is almost the complete opposite. He's very masculine, whereas the moon is very feminine. So in fact you've got this kind of nice balance of patriarch and matriarch energies going on there. So there's a degree of balance coming in. You might be flipping at times from really feminine emotional energies to more masculine, stand up and be strong and you get a grip on yourself type energies. The Emperor can often relate to timing perspectives, as in March, April, so around your birthday time. He can also represent an older person coming on the scene, sometimes an Aries energy, maybe Aries rising energy. He could be an accountant, a lawyer, a tax person, a mentor, or someone who is like an adjudicator. He can also be, for some of you, a potential new partner. He can often turn up when there's romance on the scene. He could be associated with this moon energy over here for some of you. So if he's none of those particulars, he generally says do things right and appropriate and above board, follow the laws and don't push boundaries. So is he a message about something that's going on over here? Is he a double message for you about the don't trust everybody in life, double check them, do background checks and be cautious about who or what type of people you let into your life? That could be another dynamic going on with him, especially that he's looking directly at that moon there. With the Queen of Rods reversed, she's still going to be very much about her fire, passionate energy. If she is a person in your life, she could be someone who is a fire sign person. So it could be a friend or a partner or a family member. But given that she's upside down, there could be something going on with this person that you will either be paying attention to, or she needs help or support in one way. So that's one way of looking at this reversed queen. The other thing is that because she represents often our creative inspirations or desires or passions and ideas coming to us, and she's reversed, she could represent that there may be a block around this. Some of you may have been working on things like a project or writing something, because lots of Pisceans are, like actors, writers, producers. You make things, you're very creative. So some of you may have like a creative block going on, or there might be a 180-degree shift in something that you were doing in terms of a project or a thought direction. You might suddenly go, oh, wait a minute, this is needed, or that was wrong, or God, I have to start again, or I have to reverse back. So there's something about slowing it down and thinking back over your project and making some new calculations or redesigning parts of it. Yeah, and that might be what she represents. So possibly she is either a person who is around, a friend or a partner, who might need some extra support or time, or perhaps there's a slight glitch between the relationship going on there and it might need some work on it. The Fool card, the last one, another major arcana. Out of five cards that came to you from the tarot, 4 of them were major arcana. So I think you only have to ponder that for a little bit to understand the depth and the breadth of the changes or the implications, or the extent of what's going on around you at the very beginning of this year. It feels as though it could be potentially really exciting, but I think there's a lot of emotion involved from you, like a lot of, this is not just flippant, this is big time stuff that you're really working through at one level or another. But we come to the Fool, and I think the Fool is a beautiful card. It represents freedom to me. It's almost the penultimate individualistic freedom in life. It's not really caring too much about other people's perspectives or their needs or their worries, or them saying, no, wait for me, or you can't do that because I don't want to, or stuff like that. This is just you saying, actually, it's my time, I want to do this, or I have this urge to try something new, or I feel as though I want to explore this dynamic. This can be whether it's physical, emotional, health perspective, or spiritual. It is actually quite a spiritual card, and it sometimes leads people onto a brand new journey of philosophies or belief systems or understandings. It can lead you to brand new directions in career choice. Some of you may drop off an old career and start going on a new one. Some of you may leave home and find a new home. Some of you may leave your country and go to a new country. It's that grand and that bold, the Fool, really. I think the only warning perspectives from the Fool is make sure you do have some perspectives in place and some directions to head to. Because sometimes if we go off completely, well, I don't want to say unravelled and uncocked, but sometimes if we do, we forget the little things like the forward planning to a degree. Where should we stop first? How should we check if we're doing the right things? How should we monitor if it feels good for us? Are we checking in with our gut feeling, our intuition? So those are the little messages that the Fool can give. I think in terms of health, you could say that it feels as though for some of you, if you've had health issues, you could be about to become free of past health issues. So some of you may have reached a cycle in life whereby there's a clock in the background, not one that you can see, but it's turned over a whole new page and you're starting to head in a new direction. So you could be saying goodbye to some chronic health issues that some of you have had as well. The other thing, I always notice the little doggy here, and I do think for some people pets are indicated one way or another. There is a possibility that this can mean a new pet coming into your life, and for some of you that may mean a possibility that something is going on with a current pet. So what we will do is put these cards away, and the last card for the reading is from an angel deck, and I will shuffle, and again we will take from the 5th card down. That wasn't a very good shuffle. These are getting quite old now, so they're well worn and trusty cards. So this is for Pisces for January 2019. What last message would you like to impart? Okay. Wow, you know, let your past go. And that very last card you had on the tarot was the Fool, which is all about going to the future. So again, you know, your reading has marched its way through with amazing links or synchronicity or clarification at many levels. It follows through quite beautifully from one portion to the next. So it's a very cohesive reading, and I think for a lot of you, whether or not you come back and listen to it a little bit later, or you take your time to digest the messages, there is something in here for you that will help you to format directions, I think, as the year moves on. So let your past go. We'll move it in a little bit closer so you can see that angel there. She has a little bit of a sad look on her face. She is very contemplative, but I'll focus on the words first. The burden of carting your past around has made you weary, dear one. It's time to set this burden down. Keep only the lessons and the love and leave everything else behind. You don't need it or want it, and it's now gone. So your cosmic helpers are sort of asking you to look to the future and to let something go. And again, I feel that message has been quite strong throughout the reading, from the very first card, the Judgment card, which is asking us to evaluate something and to be able to see from a new perspective or dynamic. So whatever it is for each of you at a very individual and personal level, there is something they're asking you to let go to enable you to regain direction or power or strength or clarity as you move forward. And because this is the very beginning of the year, it is this time of activation from your intention setting. There couldn't be a better time than letting that past go. You know, we're just in January and you can wave goodbye to 2018. But for some of you, this may not have just been stuff that happened in 2018. This may go back a lot further. When I do angel readings and this card comes up and I talk to clients about it, I usually find that this is a past from a very long time ago. And more often than not, I tend to find it can be around relationship issues or self-worth. So there we are, Pisces, of quite a strong message for you, but one with, as I said before, I feel like there's so much in here for you to ponder upon and pick up on that could really help you activate as activate for your year as it moves forward. So thank you for tuning in and liking and subbing the channel. I love it when you leave your messages. Also remember to check your moon and rising sign, because there could be just as many great messages in there too. Hey guys, have a wonderful, happy new year and a great start to 2019. Be safe everyone. Much love. Namaste.